Thank you. I think I've done what you call random sampling. Basically, just get a feel of what you expect for my brief remarks. But let me thank you for organizing this function for me so that I could meet with Kenyans who live here in Sweden or Scandinavia in general. Last time I addressed Kenyans here is quite some time back. Since that time, too much water has gone under the bridge. But I'm happy to see that the number has now continued to grow here in Scandinavia. There are places I know, like Gata here. We've been here together. Yes. See that the more things change, the more they remain the same. Now, I want to be a little brief in my remarks. I want to highlight a few issues. One is many things have happened in our country lately. You know that a year and a half ago we went to an election. That election actually became a watershed to Kenyans. It changed the character of the Kenyan society. But Kenya is not the first country to go through such kind of experience. Many countries have gone through similar experience in the past. So a time comes when those kind of things have to happen in our society. We went to an election and there were disputes after the elections. Kenyans then protested, Kenyans fought, many people lost their lives, many people became internally displaced, other people were injured. In the end, we said that we needed to talk to each other. I tell people that Kenyans went to the precipice and looked down the abyss, and they did not like what they saw. Because the other one said, I'm going to push you down. The other one said, no, and we are going to go down together. Then they decided to retrace their steps backwards and decided that they needed each other. So we did negotiate, and after negotiating, we then signed an accord. And that accord ended with the formation of a grand coalition government, which is shared on a 50-50 basis. So I don't agree quite with Ngate that I'm not there. This is a grand coalition government, like the one which has just been thrown out of power in Germany. President Kibaki has got half of it, 20 ministers, and Raila has also got 20 ministers. So we share power. But we agreed that what we need to do in Kenya was to carry out reforms, fundamental reforms in our country, so that we do not witness a recurrence of what we went through last year. So these reforms were actually put down on paper, what we needed to do. One, there were things that needed to be done immediately, others which we knew were going to take time to do. The immediate one was first, cessation of hostilities, beginning of reconciliation of, among communities, resettlement of internally displaced persons. Then the other ones which needed to be done were one, what we call the long-term ones. We want to deal with historical injustices. what has happened in our country since independence up to now. How we can deal with our past so that we can close it the way they did in South Africa, through a Truth, Justice and Reconciliation Commission. The other one was the elections itself. What is it that happened at the elections? How did the Election Commission conduct the elections? The other one was post-election violence. How was it? Was it just spontaneous? Or was it planned? Or was it a combination of two? Then the other ones, now the long term, those ones were mid-term. The long term were now issues like the Constitution, issues like the legal and judicial reforms, issues like the land reforms. Those ones were the long-term issues, what we call Agenda 4. So what we did, immediately after the signing, we did tour the affected areas where there were clashes. The Naivasha, Nakuru, Molo, Eldoret, Chirangani, Kipkelion, Sotik, all those areas. We toured jointly with the president, with Back, talking peace, preaching peace among the various people. But then we said that this thing requires something that is sustainable. So we said we'll use the government machinery to ensure that this process of reconciliation was done in a much more comprehensive manner. So the provincial administration, the chiefs, the sub-chiefs, the DOs, the DCs and so on are involved in this process of reconciliation. They were talking, holding barazas among various communities to talk about peace and understanding. Then the civil society is equally involved. Civil society also was empowered and enabled by government to carry out the work of reconciliation. Religious groups are equally involved in the work of reconciliation. So it has been a very comprehensive approach to reconcile the people of Kenya. The IDPs, we also embarked on the process of resettlement. Once conditions were created for them to go back. At the height of the crisis, we had close to over 500,000 IDPs. Most of them are resettled. Those that remained were in tens of thousands, 10,000, 20,000, out of over 500,000 regional IDPs. These are the ones who have continued to make the noise that you've been hearing. But these ones who have remained, they fell into three categories. One, there were those who did not want to go back.